get into these mad bands, Let's get right stuck in.
Yeah, let's
And
take a look at these. Oh, oh,
ooh,
oh, oh, oh. Okay.
okay,
More
okay.
Villa. This league loves Villa.
It does love a bit of Villa. We do seem to love a bit of Villa here at Athena. And I think that's quite a nice one. Again, this hopefully will be a bit of a fun one to start things off. And when you've got such a big playground for these teams to be going on, and that should be quite interesting indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen a lot of these teams play Villa quite a lot, and teams like if I can remember, teams like Nemesis, they've had strong performances on Villa and then just not been able to put it together right at the end. And Toxic Barbie, I remember back in week 3, she was really struggling to find what position to play, was on the smoke for a few rounds, got switched on over to the Jaeger, was able to run amok and just absolutely tore it up. So hopefully we see some adjustments like that coming through from Nemesis right from the start, see if they've learned from those previous weeks. And same on the side of Lost Souls, but we are going to be getting underway and on into the game. Grace, what do you think these operator bands are going to be?
Oh, well, again, this is the thing. They're either going to go serious with it, so we're going to see the Thatcher, the kind of Maverick, maybe, or like a Thatcher and probably a Jackal. A
Hmm.
lot of these teams they will be banning out that Jackal on the Villa map. But if they're being a bit more fun with it, we might just see a ton of target bans come through. So let's have a look. Ooh, so there we go. A nice standard Thatcher ban from Lost Souls to start us off. So Lost Souls going into this with a pretty serious game face on. Well, not pretty, more serious than they could be right now.
Yeah, there is sometimes the temptation to sort of not play as seriously as you could, but you gain nothing from that. And as we are going to see Nemesis ban out the Monty, as these bans continue to come on through, the best thing that you can do in a situation like this is continue to learn, continue to grow and develop as a team. And yeah, I hope that we get to see some proper, straightforward, hard hitting action tonight. As there goes the Valkyrie, one of everyone's least favorite defenders at the moment.
Absolutely. This is really interesting, Dino. Like this is because again, it's like okay, Thatcher, Monty, Valkyrie. These are all very strategic, very sensible, very common bands realistically across many maps. And I think this is interesting because it says that these teams are actually not wanting to be bottom of the table. They are serious about this. They will, they're happy where they are. They are coming to having fun, but I guess no one wants to finish last at the end of the day. So that's quite interesting to me. That certainly is quite interesting to me. And again, I really want to have a look at these operator picks on both sides now. And again, so far looking at this, it looks serious. It looks like they're here to win on both sides. Nothing too experimental here at all. No risks being made at all. No target bans, nothing. Again, this is a serious game of Siege we're about to witness.
Yeah, the one interesting thing to point out, which you briefly touched on beforehand, was that the Jackal has been let through. We
Mm.
expected that to be one to get banned out. Villa is one of the strongest maps for Jackal. It's so big, the roamers are so potent, so bringing that Spanish operator can really help mitigate some of that. So interesting to see that that got let through the ban phase. It was, Nemesis who chose not to go for that. So going to make things interesting and a bit more difficult for the defense.
Absolutely. And again, lots of utility here to be used for a nice, decent, but safe setup. We've got the electric claws on the Kaid. We've also got extra mute jammers. So that's double layers, especially double layers with our counter intel utility. Got the Mozzie and the mute together. Got a cheeky little shield here. This is quite nice. They're blowing out that kind of, space between statue and bedroom, and they're going to have a shield in the Astro doorway too. This could be a potential channel of death for any attackers that choose to push from that northeastern side. Very, very nice indeed. Let's see where Nemesis are actually going to push from throw because, historically on this map, we have seen a lot of these teams go kind of directly for the jugular. Like they're not going to mess about. But again, I do want to see them do a bit of a map clear as well. It's better to be safe than sorry. Looks like Toxic Barbie on this Nomad's going to go for a bit of an upside down rappel, try and catch some people out early. I think this is the safest option considering the setup the other side of that window, Dino.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is a lot of utility that Lost Souls have invested over here. like to see these map clears come on through, but you can mitigate and avoid a lot of what Lost Souls has set up just by not attacking from this direction, going for a more direct site push and just having someone set up either on the 90 repel or on that wolf window or connector window, however you'd like to call it. So interesting that we are, for the time being, seeing Nemesis choose to at least in part attack onto this, but we are going to see a couple players take control over towards this study side. There's going to be Queen Ella, who's got a lot of free room over at the top of the main stairs, but Ricebell Chen, who is holding the angle through study, just gets absolutely dropped by the alibi. And that's going to be the first kill of the game.
Absolutely, physical game going in the side of Lost Souls. Bit of a bit of a slowed down approach now in this bedroom area as well. They have managed to push back these defenders a little bit, but again, they need to get these drone outs really checked. Maybe they could do a little bit of a push through bathroom and Astro, which is what it looks like they're doing. But again, Aries just noticed that, so she's going to be feeding that information back. Toxic Barbie getting the pick onto Drake as well. Aries safely falling back, but it's actually caught out by Expolitan Dino.
Yeah, the pressure coming in from the red stairs, the pinch getting set up in secrecy. Lost Souls not prepared for it, and now they are going to be down a player as Expolitan pops off and gets another kill in this opening round. Now, looking to see if they can get this study wall open. There's the aviator wall open. The IQ scanner's going to come on out, ping out the gadget, and oh no, we've got a mute without any optics on the SMG-11. This is not an easy gun to use without at least some form of scope on it as bullets start to come flying on in through the walls. As the wall itself is going to get opened on up by Queen Ella, the peak coming through from the mute gets taken down to incredibly low HP as there is pressure wrapping on in from the 90 hallway. Expolitan gets a third on the round, and Drydalia there to clean it up. And that is going to be Nemesis taking round number one.
Yes, indeed. And again, clean being the nice word to use there. Towards the end there, they just made it look very crisp and clean and even for them. So yeah, I think that's a nice start for Nemesis, certainly. And again, with these more defender favored maps, you want to be getting as many of those early rounds in your favor as possible. Certainly the first three. If you can get more than that, that's always a bonus as well. They are choosing to go to a different site now, and I like this because again, I've had a really big pet peeve this season of people just trying to recycle that same site over and over and over, and it's like you're wasting your time. Just go through that rotation. Glad to see Lost Souls doing this certainly, and again, very safe standard setups here. Although the dock is a bit of a spicy touch there, to be honest. Again, wondering why the Doc's been picked over the Thunderbird. We've seen a lot of Thunderbird get used this season for that healing utility, giving the teams, a nice little boost to their health. And if they are choosing to go for riskier things or hold specific spots, you could even have a nice little Thunderbird set up around the Astro area that people do try and commonly
Mm-hmm.
pre-fire a lot of the time. It's a nice little boost there if you do get downed or something like that. And the Doc kind of low-key indicates just a full-on spawn peak to me, if I'm honest. But at the same time, if that does happen and then that dog goes down, that is wasted utility that could have been used to benefit the team. If you had of picken, that's terrible English. If you had of chose the Thunderbird instead.
Yeah, I mean, my feelings at the moment is that out of the three healing defenders, and I'm going to kind of throw Rook into this to
Mm,
make it up to that three. So we've got Thunderbird, Doc, and Rook. With the changes to Rook, that kind of pushes Doc down the list, in my opinion, into that third position because Rook has the two times and gives an extra 30 points of health to every player at the start of the round. Thunderbird, of course, we know great guns and just consistent healing throughout the round, whereas Doc only gets 3 stims and doesn't even have that two times on the MP5. It's sort of still a strong operator to use, but I will agree with you that there are potentially stronger options out there that we could have seen coming through.
absolutely, absolutely. And again, it's yeah, I do want to know if that's like probably just like a comfort pit or something like that, but we'll see how it gets on anyway. We'll see what Meep ends up doing because again, it could be that she's got something kind of sneaky hidden up her sleeve, and then maybe it will make a little bit more sense. But yeah, for now, I think yeah, we're both in agreement that why not the Thunderbird? Um, Love the fact that they're actually bothering to bring the IQ on attack as well for this. I think IQ, again, super, super powerful on this map. It's not just the fact that she can spot out any utilities for a team or at least aware of it. It's the fact that there's so much intel that could be given, even if you're not shooting out that utility. just go very, very, very far away from a site, and you can still kind of get a
Oh,
general, "Oh, that was a really nice shot," like sneaking up there on Expolitan, managing to take them down before they can cause any more trouble, or again, feed that so important intel to the rest of her team.
yeah. And the big thing here is that, well, first of all, Drike's position was completely unknown and wasn't called out correctly, so Drydalia is going to lose a lot of HP. But with the position of those Kaid Electroclaws, we saw it inside the soft wall on that middle reinforced panel. It's going to be very difficult to get that out. The IQ would have been able to assist and call that out, but now we just have Drydalia with this secondary shotgun. If she chooses to go for it, to then get rid of those electricals. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And Drydalia could catch a timing here, but it looks like she's going to get caught on out, and that's going to be Eri getting that kill. And now it's a 3 versus 5 in favor of the defense, right before it becomes a 2 versus 5 as Shnati is going to get that kill onto Queen Ella.
Absolutely. Lost Souls looking very, very good right now. Again, this could be a nice little round for them to get on the board here. More of those magnets coming out there from Eri, but she shut down by Rice Ball Chen, but not before Shnati can say something about it. Goodness gracious me.
Flurry of kills to close out the round, but it was Rice Bell Chen to deny the flawless performance from Lost Souls ladies. So it's still just strong performance from Nemesis to start us off in round number one. Lost Souls come back and bounce back immediately with an almost flawless round. And we're going to be heading down to Dining and Kitchen. Possibly the great equalizer. We'll be able to see which team has a better handle of the map.
Mm.
You would throw it in favor of the defense just because it's filler, but how do you think this round is going to play out?
I genuinely cannot really make a decision on that because again, I think this is probably one of the most important sites for map control. You do have to go and take that upstairs 9 times out of 10 just to make it a lot safer for you. But again, is you don't want to waste too much time up there either because when you eventually try and go for that, setup and then collapse around site, you want to make sure you've got enough time on the board to send utility, get any kills you may need to get that execute underway. Um, so yeah, I think this is like the one where you meet your maker certainly. And considering both team have a round each at this point, again, as you say, it is defender favored. But the way that Nemesis have been attacking thus far, I do think they've got more clarity on how they want to approach most of these sites now on their attack. So I am expecting them to have a nice little standard by the book attack. But again, that all important map control should be gained. And then it's just going to come down to that collapse, Dino.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the important operators on the side of Nemesis is going to be Expolitan. Typically, you don't see much IQ being played when the Valkyrie has been banned out, but as you mentioned before, it does provide a lot of utility and information to the side of Nemesis. And I mean, Expolitan's good with that 5.52 commando, and I expect to see a couple more heads get popped this round if she's able to get it going.
Absolutely. Again, I want to see this utility really get used. So if she can get into that kind of top floor positioning, or at least, you know, near enough that she can start feeding a lot of that information to her teammates, that's going to be so impactful, especially towards the end of this round. If everyone is still managing to stay alive and well, already doing work for her team, taking down Eri of all people as well as Mozzie firmly off the board. That's a C4 off the board, I believe, as well, which again, realistically, when there is a map like Villa, you do want those C4s in pocket. There's so much vertical play that can come into your favor right now.
Oh,
And oh, Drake!
oh, oh,
Oh, cheeky little 2K there. We do love to see it, Drake, absolutely popping off this round. The team are fully whittled down to a 3v4, and they were looking strong just then, and Drake was just like, nah, not having it.
yeah, Expolitan getting that opening pick and, on Airy creating lots of space on that top floor. Drake got droned out, and typically you see the run away from that, but staying up close, shooting through the soft wall, and that's going to be a third. Drydalia goes down. Shnati's able to come up on the flank. The Claymore is there, but that's going to get shot on out, and Drake finally decides to run away, going, yeah, you know what? I've got my kills for this round. I can rest easy on this one. But Shnati on the flank could still do more damage up on this top floor as the diffuser hasn't been recovered, and it looks like Nemesis is lost. Shnati!
Oh
Shnati!
no.
No! Okay. That's not one for the highlight reel, but Toxic Barbie goes down. Yena follows up with the kill onto Rice Bell Chen. And a strong round again from Lost Souls.
Absolutely. That was very, very strong. Again, it's a yeah, gorgeous 2K from Drake, to be honest. A little bit cheeky with it as well. Um, You've really, really got to be watching that kind of Astro Stairs area because so many people will be lurking around it, especially on that kind of, kitchen. You've got the upstairs setup as well. People do lurk around the Astro area because it's so typically easy kind of fall back if things do get a bit too spicy for you. So you really got to be hot droning every nook and cranny in that area and making sure that they aren't going to do you dirty like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I just want to touch on a point here that, like, I was gonna say the previous round, but, like, I just wanna highlight Rice Ball Chen as a player because I think over the course of this season, I've seen her do, like, a lot of really, really nice things, and yep, only 1 kill so far, but again, I am expecting hopefully a lot from her in this map because um, she's one of those players that just seems to know when to get aggressive and when to not. And there have been some really nice little kind of almost I won't say exactly clutch situations, but situations where she's certainly whittled down the opposition or has done something significant for her team. And I'm wondering with a large map like this, when both teams are caring so much about the outcome, I'm wondering what she's capable of doing in this kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, Rice Bell Chen has been one of those players on the side of Nemesis who's just consistently put up kills, consistently put her team in a good spot to be able to win these rounds and be competitive. Because while Nemesis haven't won so far this season, a lot of their games have been quite close. And, the scoreline doesn't necessarily reflect the performances that they've been able to put up. And Rice Bell Chen has been a big part of why some of those games and some of those rounds have been close. So it is sort of waiting to see whether Rice Chen will wake up in this one and, like I say, use that bigger map to her advantage. And, if they're able to occupy that space and really apply pressure onto the defense. But for the moment, it's going to be Schnatty applying pressure onto the attack by playing up towards this book's position, trying to catch anyone off if they get aggressive going on into study.
Absolutely. And again, I love the fact that she's actually choosing to fall back now. She knows there's a bit of a push coming from that side. You can also assume that there'll be the push coming through from bedroom still as well. So, the defense very much know where these attacks are coming from right now, and they can assume that they're not going to get caught off guard by anything too fruity.
Well, never say never as Drake looking to get aggressive on this window. Almost could have had the angle onto Toxic Barbie, but the pre-fire and then the repositioning coming through from the Nomad is going to keep her safe for the time being, but it's not going to force these defenders out of their positions. That's going to make things difficult for Nemesis moving forward, as we are seeing Queen Ella take control down below. The Jackal scanner not finding any footprints for now, but still being cautious and checking those angles. Stridalia getting control over 90. This could be undetected, and this can potentially catch someone out inside of the site. Here's the bandit wires go down. Sees the tip of the head, but can't land the shot. Elsewhere, Toxic Barbie has gone down, leaving Drake and Airy on incredibly low amounts of health. With a minute to go, this is still Lost Souls round to lose.
Absolutely. The health is really alarming right now, especially when we're going to see this collapse come in soon. That vault wall is getting nice and opened. But Dahlia turning potentially at the wrong moment.
Oh,
Yes, it was at the wrong moment. Eri getting a 2K onto Rice Bullshen and Dry Dahlia. Yenna is also going to get the pick onto X-Pods, and it's all left down to Queen Ella. She gets the pick onto Drake of all people. She knows where this other player at the end of 90 is. 30 seconds, Dino. 30 seconds, Anna Dream, a 1v4. Can she clutch this out for her teammates? She makes the approach to Aviator. Oh, but there we go. Meep is going to shut her down before she can even start any cheeky highlights for the highlight reel.
the off angle being held by the bandit to close that round out is going to give a Lost Souls a nice recovery. It started off kind of similar to how we saw round one go down, with Nemesis gaining a lot of that control, starting to push on in from study and bedroom, and then it all just fell apart. Some nice kills coming through. I believe it was Aries to get a 3K in that round, including the opening pick, and Nemesis just couldn't recover, and they've really been kept in a stranglehold since that very first round, which we thought for attack, that's a very strong start to Villa. We thought they'd be able to get a couple more, but Lost Souls have just pedal to the metal, just not let them back into this one.
Absolutely. Pedal to the metal. That is going to be the phrase of the evening. Certainly so. Very exciting stuff going on the way too. But Nemesis, they're gonna want to try and even this out before they go to their defense, to have the most optimum start to the second half, if I'm honest. Again, they've been through one rotation once for already. They just have to do it again. So they know what to expect. They know what's going to be bought every round now. There should have been enough time to kind of be like, okay, yeah, we remember. And this is how we're going to approach it this time. This is what we're going to do differently. I was kind of concerned about Yetta kind of lurking around here because love the magnets placement, towards that wall, but also I thought maybe she was gonna like stay there for some reason. And I was like, ah, sort of like lying down, like shimmying into the side of the wall. I was like, please don't do this to yourself. That's a little bit too spicy, even for a Thursday night. Um,
Even for even for a Thursday night.
Even for a Thursday night, you gotta get the Thursday night Balti underway.
I didn't realize it was such a tradition. The Thursday night Balti. I'll have to remedy my kitchen plans for the week, but
Why am I like this? Moving swiftly on. As you can see, once again, Toxic Barbie on the upside down rappel. I think she just maybe secretly was a bat in past life. Looks like she is flinging her way towards that study area. Now they're going to make their approach from that side of the map nice and safe, get that map control, get those roamers nice and cleared out before they can cause any harm. And Queenella leading the charge, probably the most perfect operator yet again to lead that approach as she dies because Eri is going to get the opening pick for this round. So that's no Jackal utility at all. And that could be a little bit of a spanner in the works. Strike taking down Toxic Barbie as well. A 3v5, Dino, just over a minute gone.
yeah, that Jackal, it's a good, strong operator, but it needs to be used in conjunction with drones. Otherwise, you can get caught out, and that's a lot of utility gone. But a nice peek coming through from Dry Dahlia is going to get that kill onto Drake. She's aware that there is one more over towards that Aviator game side of things. The shot's coming through that 90 wall. Dry Dahlia is going to bucket open, which is just going to create more angles to deal with and more potential for the defenders to move around over on that side. But it is going to be a little bit of pressure starting to be applied, but Schnatty just fights right back, takes down Rice Bell Chen, and still able to hold on to this Astro Stairs area. And this isn't looking good for Nemesis yet again. Expolitan is going to pull it back just a little bit, get that kill onto Schnatty as Eri is sitting around this kind of skull landing door area as Dry Dahlia still trying to work through and find where she is. There is a drone available, but she's looking the wrong way. Eri gets the kill, and now it is just Expolitan left in a 1 versus 3. 40 seconds left to go. Diffuser in hand. There is potential, there is time, but there's a lot of utility. We already heard one of those dock stims get used, but that's going to be the dock going down. Meat falling first as Aries managed to work her way downstairs. C4 in hand gets detonated far too early. Not there to capitalize on it. And now going to be aware that one player is rotating up the red stairs. Expolitan gets that kill onto Eri. Time to reload. There is a little bit of time still left in this round as we finally get down to the 15-second mark. It is just Yenna left alone. 1 versus 1 to deny the 1 versus 3 for Expolitan, and she's working her way on in, potentially seeing the angle, but no, gonna run around, get and hide, and it's gonna be Yenna to get the kill and win the round for Lost Souls ladies to keep this momentum flowing on their defensive half.
Absolutely. Again, a very difficult situation to be in because despite getting one of the two, you still have to get that plant down, and the timer is ticking. It's as you always say, Dino, time is the sixth defender, and that was a perfect example of it. So, yeah, again, it can really force people into very uncomfortable situations and very almost clunky plays where they're like, okay, I either have to go for the kill or I have to get this plant. Either way, I might die. I have to make a choice. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Expolitan's so close to being able to win out that 1v3. It would have provided so much momentum for Nemesis, but it's going to be Lost Souls getting a dominant control of this half, potentially able to go up 5-1 here, Grace, which would put Nemesis really into a hole, moving on to their own defensive half. And we are going to see for the first time Queen Ella switch on over, move away from the Jackal, and is going to be picking up the Thermite. And we spoke about how strong Jackal was, but we didn't really get to see much uses coming through from Queen Ella. I don't recall seeing any Jackal pings coming through those first 5 rounds.
No, and this is well, there was an interesting moment where they were pushing kind of around the aviator area and they had the live ping of the defender around behind the bar, but no one was immediately reacting to it. I
Hmm.
think they wanted a little bit more intel first, just in case there was someone kind of lurking around Bolt or something. If they did go for that swing, would they get punished for it by a crossfire? And again, in that moment, it's that thing where, yes, if that ping is going off, you need to react appropriately. You need to be being absolutely on your drone game so you do have that information in order to make those plays.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Jackal is good by himself, but you do need those drones alongside to really get that use and effectiveness and lethality coming through from that operator. But we're not going to see him in this round, as we are going to see Lost Souls go back down towards that kitchen bomb site. It was almost a flawless round from them last time, at least in part, or very definitely in part, to Drake stunning 2K up on the top floor. Going to be switching up the operator, though. Going to be playing that mute for another C4 available for the defense.
Absolutely, and again, you want a lot of C4s on this site. Uh, Basically, this is to be honest, this is my favorite map for vert plays because it just happens pretty much anywhere you go. Even if you think you're safe, there's always the off chance that you're just gonna end up on a wooden floor and you're gonna go flying through the air because someone's just decided to blow up your toes. What we like to see.
The rest of you, along with your toes, of course, not just not.
Exclusively just your toes. That would be I really would hope they never put that in the game. That would be horrendous. Just no.
Isn't
Buck's toes flying through the air.
wouldn't that just be explosive lesion?
Are you assuming that the toes are all goo mines?
Well, no. If you're going to hit a goo mine, it's probably going to be with your feet. Well, it's going to be with your feet, with your toes, more than likely. But I think we might be getting slightly distracted from the
Ah.
round at hand, Grace, as we are more than a minute and 45 on into the round, and no one's died so far. Nemesis do have control of the top floor. So they are going to
Mhm.
start to go for these execute, but this is when the C4s start to come into play.
Absolutely. Again, it's not just, you can work that skeleton key all you want, Dry Dahlia, but you really have to mind your P's and Q's and don't stay in the same place for too long, lest someone do see for you. And again, on the same side, the defense can't get too cocky thinking, oh, okay, they're going to open blind of sight. I'll just stand here and hold it because if you're not reacting quick enough, you're going to go down also. So again, we'd love to see the verticality. Just people need to start reacting to it. Oh my goodness gracious me, Drake. We do love the shotgun kills. Queen Ella also getting a pick there onto Eri as well. It's now whittled down to a 3v4, and they still have this collapse to get underway. 20 seconds on the clock, Dino.
Shanasi with the pre-fire is going to alert Dry Dahlia to her position, but no bullets exchanged directly just yet. Almost a team kill coming through, but with time running down, there's really no opportunity for them to faff about. Drake is going to swing on around and get a kill with that SMG-11. Shanati got the kill elsewhere with that 416. The door's going to get opened on up for Toxic Barbie, but it's not to let her in. It's to shut her out and to shut Nemesis out of this round entirely. Lost Souls 5-1 defending on Villa. That's a very strong start for any team.
Absolutely. Absolutely indeed. Because again, they only have to get, well, if they get one round in on their attack now, they're on match point. And that is chill as hell for them. That is absolutely blessed. And they could, put their feet up for the night. It's done.
Yeah, yeah. Can't contest that. Yeah,
Yeah. Factually correct. Uh,
exactly.
no, I do think though, Nemesis, this is now their time to try and get that reverse sweep underway. Again, going to defense, you are on the more favorable side because there's so many nooks and crannies for you to hide in. If you've got a nice strong roam game, you can really catch them off guard. Um, I suppose at the same time, it's like if we consider how much Lost Souls on their defense were reacting very well to each other, and there was obviously a big, strong communication game there. I'm wondering how well that will translate onto the offense, especially now we're seeing Drake on that Dokkaebi. Because again, a Dokkaebi is a very interesting operator to be bringing. It's not just the fact that you can, hack those phones and make sure that you know their whereabouts. It's a nice little global ability that gives you a nice little sound cue to the defender's location. If you manage to kill someone, you get full access to those cameras as well. And again, it's all about communication, all about intel. So I'm really wondering how strong that's going to be for Lost Souls now that they are, going into this second half.
Yeah,
Looking so
absolutely.
strong as well. So strong.
Absolutely. And it's going to be that combination of Drake with Yenna on that Nook that's going to be really interesting for me because obviously, when everyone's looking at their phones, they can't access the cams. Nook's main ability is being able to bypass those cameras as well. So it's going to
Mm.
provide potentially this massive gap in the intel game for Nemesis, which, if timed correctly, Lost Souls could take advantage of.
Absolutely, and then we've got Ayana as well on the side of the attack, where they're gaining their own intel in conjunction with potentially any hacked cams they may get. So, yeah, very strong lineup going into this on the side of Lost Souls, who, as I say, only 2 rounds needed and they've won.
We are going to see Neep start to open up that vault wall, but it's going to be Dry Dahlia peeking down from 90 to get most of those Excaris pellets off. I do believe we did see at least one or two of them detonate successfully. Well, I could be mistaken, as it is going to be Meep to get that kill onto Expolis, and Queen Ella, aware of someone over on the red stairs, waiting for them to push on up, as Toxic Barbie is nearby for the duo swing as well, if they so want to go for it. But for the time being, just patience and a waiting game for the defense.
Absolutely. And again, half the time kind of gone now. Those Excaros once again opening up more of the vault wall. Again, very surprising to see how uncontested this 90 spot is. And again, it's such a strong like position for you to be holding as an attacker because you get that really nice long line of sight. And also, Queenella in Pig right now, if she tries to rotate back to site, she has to go via Aviator as the very, very big chance that Meep will pick her off, which
Oh,
she just has done. The timing, perfect, beautiful. Jeff's kiss. Rice Ball Chen getting aggressive there on the study doorway, trying to hold back Shnati from making any kind of aggressive push or using any utility to get rid of that cheeky little Aruni gate on the doorway.
Ricebot Jan able to get one, but Shnati trades that out immediately, and then it's going to be Zakibi DMR from the red stairs to clean things up, as just Lost Souls not losing a beat, moving on over to their attacks. And Nemesis, like you say, that it was at 90 position. They lost two, at least two players, if not three players, challenging onto that Hibana. Meep just able to hold it down and really close off the whole map. So, going to be interesting to see how Nemesis choose to adapt. They are going to be going on over to Trophy Statue Room, but Grace, this could potentially be the final round here.
It really could, and this is the thing, the pressure is on because, yes, you're on match point and you have to win 5 rounds in a row to put it to overtime, which is a massive thing to have to be able to do.
But stranger things have happened, and this is Siege, so you can never say never, as there's always the potential for these massive comebacks, particularly on a map like this, where you do see teams and streaks just take over and build that momentum round after round after round. So long as Nemesis are still in this one mentally, they still have a shot at being able to win this one out.
Absolutely. And again, love the fact that Nemesis have gone with a pretty structured lineup here. They are choosing to take the Thunderbird, which is something that Lost Souls did not do. They chose for Dock instead. And again, I'm wondering where this Thunderbird utility is going to be set up as well. They've got a cheeky little bait of that alibi looking like it's going for a spawn peak as well. The little alibi clone. I love that. Um, but again, I really want to be knowing what this Thunderbird utility is. I am assuming there'll be something. Okay, there's one there. I was hoping there'd again be one around the kind of Astro area. Again, that is a really nice place which a lot of people hold, and so people do pre-fire it. And having that extra health boost could certainly come in handy. Even if you're overhealed and you want to get bolshy with it on the bathroom doorway, I think that would be quite a nice touch.
Absolutely. Uh, for the start of this round, the focus is going to be over towards Aviator Games. Never mind. Um, Queen Hella just standing in the window wasn't able to land the shots onto Meep. It was attempting to open up that connector wall, and Create a little bit of havoc in the round. Quinella gonna heal herself up with one of those Thunderbirds immediately as Drydalia could catch a timing here. The shot's coming through. Eri has gone down elsewhere, but it's gonna be Schnatty able to pick up that kill and presumably her teammate in just a moment, which is gonna make things all the more difficult for Nemesis here.
Absolutely. And again, the pressure really is on because you do not want to be at a disadvantage when you are on match point like this. And again, I think they roughly know where the attack is coming from. They just have to try and remain calm in this situation. But again, we were talking about the communication and the intel game on the side of Lost Souls, and they are just hot droning everything. And I'm not really seeing a lot of cam use on the side of Nemesis right now, and that's concerning me slightly.
Well, we have seen the use of all three EE1Ds. Not a lot really gained. They did clear out Dryadalia and get control over of that south side, but typically you'd still want to leave one in pocket by the time you get to the execute. There's going to be Rice Belchen to get that kill onto Eri, bringing us down to a 4 versus 4. The angle being held by Toxic Barbie. The shot's not able to be hit as that player jumps on in, but Yenna has just walked on into sight, and it's going to be Drake to get that kill onto Toxic Barbie. You see Queen Ella getting the down onto one and onto the other as Expolitan as well has picked up the kill onto Drake. While the scoreboard may say 3 versus 2, this is a 1 versus 2, and it is just Meep left alone to try and win this one out. Gets the first kill into Expolitan, but Queen Ella from the doorway is going to be able to secure that kill and the round for Nemesis.
Absolutely, and helping her team to cling on by the skin of their teeth. That is getting very, very close to the nail from now. At least they've managed to get another round on the board, though. 4 more to go, again to push this to overtime. It is a very high feat to do, but again, if they can try and just get that intel to match the level of intel that Lost Souls are just completely on fleek with at the moment, to be honest. I think this would get a lot more even. It's just they need to be getting this information. They need to be communicating it to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kitchen as well is one of those sites where information particularly rules the round. You know, playing aviator games, you know where they're going to be coming from. You can kind of get away with not being on cams as much. Kitchen, there's a lot of potential angles that can be held. You can go for a lateral push, you can go for a vertical push, you can come up from pantry, you can do all these different things as an attacker, and it's if the defense doesn't have the intel to know where to appropriately allocate resources, during the round,
Mhm.
you can get caught out and then it just becomes a steamroller. This is one of those ones where one kill quickly snowballs into a whole round if done correctly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I find it quite interesting that Nemesis have chosen to go to the kitchen site. Well, I guess it's the only place they can go actually. But I think that what I would like to see again is just a very, very strong hold upstairs where they are getting that information, or if someone's in a position where they are potentially hearing something, they are feeding that information back. This is sneaky. This is a little, ooh, I don't know how I feel about this. This is very interesting. Drake choosing to make their approach from the basement. I believe there's a second teammate following them as well, but that could really catch Nemesis off guard, you know?
Yeah, it's a spot that you would typically see a sledge open up as it's much quieter and it gives you that access, but it's also one that's often overlooked by the defenses. That basement control is typically used just as the rotation for the defenders, and Drake could have caught a timing. Expolitan would have run past that angle that was being held just a little bit. Not going to be the case as Drake chooses to back away from the angle, and that potential push is now gone as we are going to see a lateral take coming through for now from Lost Souls.
Again, a little bit of a oh, Meep with the pick onto Expolitan. That was a really nice shot, to be honest. Again, opening pick for this round, going in favor of Lost Souls, which seems to be the theme of the game uh, for most of this map, to be honest. But again, Quinella, I love the fact that she's getting a little bit bolshy with it, staying in this very, very sneaky position. But if that utility starts coming through to deal with that gate, she's got to be very, very careful. indeed. Be very curious to see how that goes. But for now, a little bit of a standstill,
Yeah, Lost Souls, by choosing not to invest into the upstairs take, it's left them with limited opportunities and not able to get these walls open as they can't shoot out the mute jammers and bandit wires from above. Attacking on in through laundry is going to be a nightmare if they attempt to go for it. They have to come on in through these doorways, and Eri is going to get the kill onto one and Yenna onto another, and the swing on in from Drake. This is now a 1 versus 5. Drydalia pulls it back with the double
Oh!
kill, getting the hip fire shots onto Meep, cancelling the reload. But that is a diffuser down, Grace, and this is now a 1 versus 3. Drydalia on incredibly low health. It would be the 1 versus 5 ace clutch to win this one and keep Nemesis in, but something needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon, as time is not on your side, Drydalia. You have to get aggressive and push on into these players as they start throwing nades at doorways that you could come from, just trying to keep you out of the round. The pre-fire is going to make your position known. It's going to be Yenna pushing up from the side to get that kill, and that is going to be Lost Souls walking away with a commanding victory here.
Absolutely. 7-2. That is a really, really impressive scoreline. Very impressive indeed. Sadly, Jimmy Russell, that we didn't get that kind of performance for a majority of the start of the season from them. But at the same time, I really genuinely enjoyed that match. I genuinely, from both sides, I really, really enjoyed that. And again, very excited really now for next week. We did, last week we did have Drake kind of say like, yeah, we know that we weren't doing great and we decided to step up a bit and kind of sort it out. And blimey, they really have.
Yeah, absolutely. I do believe we're going to have an interviewer ready, as it is going to be Drake joining us yet again. Congratulations on the game.
Thanks. Second win, I guess, and that's fair enough.
Oh, so humble. I love it. So humble. But you had some nutty shots though. Oh goodness gracious me.
Yeah. I
We
mean,
were
I know that one round. I literally said, okay, I was just cheating. So they know what I did. I'm sorry.
Someone needs to check the computer. That's okay. So we know
Yeah.
that. Someone needs to check your computer.
Moss is uploaded, don't worry.
No, that was certainly impressive. And last time we spoke to you, you were saying that yes, it was a little bit of a rough start, and now you want to kind of sort it out and go in a lot stronger. And bloody hell, a 7-2, a 7-2 victory. You must be feeling really good. And I suppose it's this idea that obviously next week it's the last kind of main season play day. So what's the plan for that?
I mean, the plan for that is obviously just to keep doing what we just did the last two play days. I think we did fairly well the last two play days. We can't really compare it to what we did before, but I mean, I can only just say it again. We still have fun. We just met and we were all like, yeah, let's just have some fun. Let's just play the game. And I mean, that's going to be the goal for the next game too. Like, there's obviously it's the last game more or less, and it's just kind of, it kind of makes us being able to stay in the league or make it not. It's just like it's a tough game against especially against Sparkle team, but I don't know. Like, I stick with what I said before. Like, we're a fun team. We're having fun. We had fun last time. We had fun this time, and I'm pretty sure we are going to have fun next time. No matter what the end is going to be, if it's a win or a loss.
The last game, well, the last time that you played on Villa, it was Playday 4. It was up against Six Nation, and it was an 8-7 barn burner. To turn around to come out and just put on a dominant performance here today, what's the kind of work that's gone into that?
I mean, there's not really much work. It's more like how we feel on that day, and we weren't really feeling that well against Six Nation. That's gotta be honest. Same against Delta Project. We played against them on Villa too. I think it's more about like your overall state that day. It's not about strats or anything. Like, we don't play strats. Like, let's bring it out. There's nothing to hide anymore. We don't play strats. Like, we literally meet up. But I'd say the 8-7 I mean, after all, like we came back from a 5-6-3. So I think that's fair enough. Like we didn't have a good day, but we still managed to get it to OT. So I think it's fair enough. But after all, I'd say the biggest thing that changed is actually like we're feeling good on a play day. And I mean, we have to say it. It's a lot easier to play in the early spot than in the literally in the late spot. It just
Mm.
makes a lot of things a bit more difficult. So I think that this might actually be one of the biggest points as of right now.
Absolutely, 100%. And again, I really agree with you actually that you know, the mental game really is everything. And I think when you can kind of detach yourself from the outcome, you think a lot clearer. You're not having as many intrusive thoughts of like, "Oh my god, we gotta win, we gotta win, are we gonna lose?" Blah, blah, blah. And I think, yeah, that can be very detrimental to a lot of teams when they're in that moment, when they're in that game. So you guys certainly have a benefit where you are going into this thinking, "Oh, this is, really fun and we're having a nice time and we're enjoying hanging out with each other." And yeah, I really think that's some powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Almost as powerful as your jersey, which Lost Souls still haven't reached
Still
out
have
to us,
oh
by the
damn.
way.
Okay, I gotta talk to Melon. I really
Having
hope
some
he's in
words.
chat. He better be in chat. Like,
I
if not,
hope so.
I'm gonna have a talk to him. I can tell you that much because everyone deserves that kind of jersey if you want it. Like, there's nothing that should stand in between.
It's a powerful jersey, and
It's
we
lovely.
we we
You don't
very
even
Def-
much.
see it in full. Like, I'm gonna post something on Twitter. Like, I even have something on Twitter where you can actually see it in full.
Okay, I'm gonna have a
yeah.
In
cheeky
full
look.
extent, it's just as lovely as much as you can see here.
Sounds good.
We
There were
appreciate it.
some people in the chat for you tonight, some spam coming out for you guys. Is there anything you want to say to your fans at home on this evening?
I can just literally say the same thing as last time. I'm very thankful for literally every single person that's in the chat, for our team, for maybe even just one person from our team. Like we are playing together, we're having fun, and to rewatch the game and then see so many people like spamming in chat or in general just supporting us. It's just nice to see at this point.
Mm,
So it's just big thumbs up. It's nice to play here, so that just counts into it as well. And just to know that there are people out there that cheer you up, even no matter how it stands right now, it's just a great feeling.
mm. I love that.
Very
Heartwarming.
wholesome. Very
Yeah, super
wholesome.
wholesome. What about that? Oh. Well, thank you very much for speaking with us. Yet again, we have appreciated you coming on and having a little natter with us. Go and celebrate. Go and celebrate with your team.
Will do, will do. But before
Awesome.
I go, I have to say one thing because I mean, we all read the news on Twitter. Um, I think cakes meant a lot to all of us. So I just want to say, on behalf of Lost Souls, we're with everyone, and we just want to say to everyone who was close to cakes, it's sad, but we hope you have a lot of strength to get this through. And yeah, I just want to leave this, not to end it on a bad note, but
Hmm.
I think it was quite important to all of us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Nice touching words coming through at the end there as yeah, heartbreaking news, but you know I don't really know where I'm going with that. Anyway, that is the first game over and done with between Nemesis and Lost Souls Esports. We will be taking a brief break before we come on back with our second game of the evening between the Sparkle team and Randy. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. Thank you.